Hey everyone, this is Andrew, and in this video I have an interesting sound design kind of experiment that I'm going to run. So I thought it would be interesting to get a metal scream / metal yell set of notes and make a kind of synthesizer out of them. Because if you think about it, singing is kind of like, your pure sine waves. They're not necessarily sine waves, but they're very pure. And then when you add rasp or grit to a vocal tone, you're adding upper harmonics, which is very similar to in a synthesizer, starting with something like a saw wave or a square wave, and then filtering down to get a more round sound. So the premise of the experiment is simple. You're going to start with a metal, very rich and upper harmonic wave, and you're going to filter it down, and we're going to see what the result is. And then at the end, I'm going to give you the free download link where you can go and download this to try for yourself. It's going to be in the form of Kontakt, but you can also just download the samples for your own mangling purposes. I'm not going to go too crazy with any scripting. I'm just going to use an old GUI design that I used for previous Genera Studios library and just reskin it a little bit. It's going to have all the things you'd want, like filtering, ADSR, and some effects, so that should be pretty cool. All right, so now let's get down to the sound capturing process. I'm going to do 4 notes. So I'm going to do a low A, I think, then an upper A with an A sound, and then I'm going to do a lower A and an upper A with an E sound, and then I'm going to record a high scream and a low scream to kind of add as a noise source, I guess, and see what the effect is. So I think the results will be pretty interesting, but let's get to the sample capture part first. Here we go. Alright, so now we're here inside of Kontakt, and I have exported my samples. So as you can see, this is just my taps GUI that I scripted a while back, and I've resaved it as Screamsynth. So now what I need to do is I need to open up the mapping editor, and I'm just going to throw my sounds into my taps folder. Let me go back. This is my saved resources, and here are my sounds. So first I'm going to start with the ah sounds. And I could auto map them. I don't see the point though, so I'm just going to drag this onto A3, which was my guesstimate as to what the note was, and this onto A2, which was my guesstimate onto what the note was. I'm going to bring this one down an octave, bring this one down an octave, and this one up a little bit. Oh, screw it, I'll bring it up an octave or several octaves. Alright, so I guess now I'll just try hitting a note, I guess. Okay. So already we have something that is definitely interesting. So I'll try turning off all the effects. Oh, wrong way. Sorry about that. Turn on the saturation, and I'll try starting with the filter all the way down. I'll play a chord, I guess. So now what I want to do is I want to go into the looping editor, and I pre-cut these samples so they lack the start of the vowel I'm singing, just to make it a little easier to loop correctly, and I don't really want it to sound like a voice. So I've offset the start, and now what I'll do is I'll hit select all zones, and I'll hit this, and then copy the loop settings to the other zone, and I'll back that off a bit. So now I should be able to hold this forever, and it'll keep looping. So So the thing with this is that voices lack a lot of lower harmonics, or sorry, low frequency sound. So when you start filtering it down too much, you kind of just lose everything. But that's pretty cool. So now I want to try experimenting with the noise. So I have group 0 here. I don't know if I put anything on it. Problem is my effects won't apply. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stay in this main group. I don't want to get into the details of making an instrument because I just want this to be kind of a quick video. Or not quick, but a video. And I'm going to get my noise sound, and let's throw one on C1. And if I look down here, oh man, let's make this one actually just go C to E flat, and I'll get the low one and I'll put it for everything else up to that E. Actually, I should probably do the other way around. That makes more sense, doesn't it? So that one is E to A flat, and that one is C to E. And this one has its actual root note at C1. So that's the actual sound. If I open up the filter, turn off some of the effects. Oh, and the resonance. And then if I hit E, or is it F on the other one? That's my high sound. So now we can kind of trigger these noise samples as we're playing a part. So I don't know, I'll kind of just improvise something. First let me give a longer attack. Make it more pad-like, I guess. Add some humanization to the panning, a little bit on the tuning, and some on these two. And then I'll just, I guess, play for a sec. And that's definitely unique. I can't say that I've ever heard anything like that in a song before. So let me just apply some fade settings to these, or sorry, loop settings to these, just so that they will also loop indefinitely and relatively seamlessly. And just to spice things up, let me get this, and I'll cut it down a bit. And I'm going to get my E sound, that's A3, and I'm going to put it on, I guess, what is that, D4? And I'll map that around. And I want to make sure to tell it that my root note is actually A3. So now those are in tune. And I'm actually going to get all of these. So this starts, what does this start on? A1. And I'm going to move this up an octave, so this still should work. Now I have to re-loop this sample. I could do this all at the end. I'm just kind of free-flowing it now, though. And I'm going to get my other sound here that was A2E, and I'm going to make it kind of fat here. Stretch it across, and then now I'm going to tell that this is a 2. Go down here and hit loop, add some crossfade, and so now I see I messed up here. I need to tell her that this is actually A2 as a bass. There we go. Oh my god. And I want to modify something. I want to make it so that you'll naturally just kind of play the scream sounds by accident. And I just did that, and it worked out good. So I'll stretch those a little bit more. So now anytime you're playing anything in the bass register, maybe I'll back this off a little bit. Anything under C2, you'll start to trigger those sounds. So that way, naturally, if you're playing, you can just make sure to put your root note down there, and you'll trigger the scream sound. And let me just make this a little wackier. I'll make the attack shorter, just so we can hear what's going on. I'll do 1/8. And that is terrifying, which is kind of what I was expecting, but it's very cool. I've never heard anyone get scream or rasp sounds and throw them into a Kontakt instrument and like filter them like a synth. So this, this is exactly what I was going for. Kind of a cool experiment that I can share with you. So I'm gonna make some artwork for the back of this, and I will throw this on Genera Studios as a free download. Just hit the link in the description to go over to the product page, and you just add it to your cart and check out, and it should give you a download link for free. And yeah, play with it and let me know what you think. Hopefully you guys can put this in some of your tracks or find a cool use for it. It's very basic, of course. I just recorded 6 samples and mapped it to a Kontakt library and used an old GUI, but it's a cool concept. Maybe in the future I'll go through and record notes across the keyboard and turn this into a fully fleshed out product. But as you can imagine, something like that, is like 30 times or 50 times the work of what I just did here. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you like what I do, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell if you want to stay notified. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.